Time to chores. Cows are hungry.
Hey, it's Monday, May 15th. Me and Conrad are gonna go and check out, do a little scouting and seeing what weeds are out there in the last field to spray and kind of see what we've killed so far. I got this 40 left to spray. I'm gonna get her this morning yet. This headland looks pretty good. Got a little grass pressure on the edge, but not too bad. Let's go down right here. So far this field's looking really clean. Don't need to spray it, huh, Conrad?
Yeah, I guess so.
Little volunteer corn. Oh, Waterhemp. Yeah, there's a little bit here. They're pretty big, but they're not like the last field where they were thick. At least not in this spot here, but that's pretty big, tall. That's pretty big Waterhemp. He needs to die. He's plenty big, isn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, I hate weeds. All right. See what else we can find out here. There's some more Waterhemp. There's more. Oh, there's some more. Very exciting. Yeah. It's not thick, but it's tall. It's there. That's what this headland looks like. Yeah, a lot of pressure on the edge there. We'll get that stuff burned down. Got your thistles and milkweed and grass. And that should be easy to get. What do we got here? Thistles? No, Waterhemp. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. That's concerning. That's big. I'm just gonna get him, but it's concerning. I don't want to see him. That's big. It can get pretty hard to kill. I can see up there that the rows look filled in up there, a little green. Go check that out. That looks like a bad spot there. That's bad. Can't even see the beans here in these 3 rows. Oh, I should have sprayed it a week ago. When I was talking about it in that video from Fallen Grain, I wanted to. The weed pressure was so low. Conditions are right. I wish I was out here. What?
Big one. Waterhemp, like.
Oh. Yeah, I need to get this stuff. Ooh, that's a big boy. I don't know. It's a big boy. Okay. Honestly, the field's pretty clean other than the edges, so this is a bad spot coming up here. The camera's getting this with the shadows, but it's a little spot. Let's go down here, see what we got. The field itself looks pretty good. There's some there, and what's there is getting pretty tall, but it's pretty clean. Get this sprayed this morning yet. Some button weeds. There's a bunch of button weeds up here. Fuckers. We'll get them. this field was sprayed in 3 separate passes, 3 different days so far. I believe this was sprayed on last Thursday. Today's Monday. I think I made it around the edge. Was that Thursday?
I think so.
We really got what's here killed. It's bad down on the other end. And then I believe what we're about to drive down now was sprayed Saturday. See, I got the corn there. He's burnt up a little bit. It is so cold, it's ridiculous. You like that guy? He's looking pretty tough. Yeah, good. Looks like we're killing good here. Not looking healthy. Here it's some bad pressure. Like we made a difference. Oh yeah. Yeah, I believe this was sprayed last Thursday. It's looking good. Looking very good. We got some dead brown thistles. I like the look of that. Yeah, super pleasing. Super pleasing. I wish it would warm up. It's going to be highs this week of very, very low 70s, which is actually warmer than what they had forecasted. So we'll see what it ends up being, but it's going to be a pretty cool week. We need nice to get some heat. Yeah, looks like we got a good kill. Looks like things are looking up. All right, it is June 14th, 2026. In theory, then we are done spraying, hopefully for the last time. All the switches are up. I should be ready to go. Whoop. Almost forgot the field crew is all right. It was pretty cold this morning, 48 degrees. It's going to be in the mid to upper 60s now. spot up here where it starts to widen out, and then the fence line has it's wider. I'll have to go back and turn it on now, but right here there's not much grass separating, and I would just feel a lot better. Killing the neighbor's corn. The neighbors do have corn straight west of me, but there's a good buffer of grass. If I keep her low, we'll be good. I think I'll be all right. All right, let's try this. I don't worry so much about the road ditch. I really don't. I won't smoke it that bad, and it's not a financial loss for the township or county. It's not like I'm out there killing the whole ditch or even that much. It's just keeping it from encroaching in, but I don't stress out about it too much. It's supposed to rain Wednesday, and I'm hoping so, because we got residual, I believe it's SC, residual SC. We got in the tank here for residual, and it would work really awesome if it would rain Wednesday, get a nice ½ inch. I don't want too much more because we don't really need any rain at all. And that would make the pre-emerge kick in and work. A lot of people saying on the internet and talking about droughts and in Minnesota and it being too dry. Well, not here. It's not that we got plenty of moisture. Probably too much, honestly, but not that I want to complain about it. But we got our enough. We can go a while without some rain. We need heat. This whole week's going to be cold. We're going to be in the 70s. The low 70s, and that's highs. I guess I never even looked at the lows. They're in the gate or marking where I got to go on the edge here because I don't have, wasn't planning with auto steer, and so I just get out and count rows. And Conrad and my dad are out here standing where I need to be, and come around the corner there, and they had to go. Otherwise I'd have to stop and the old gator's just burning out. See, setup, tracking, point A, and 90. We want to go 90 degrees heading. Run. Tracking on, auto steer on, I guess. The auto track is working just fantastic. As you can see the tracks back there. This was planted with SF1. The beans were planted with this brown box and this tractor, the whole setup. But it still worked good in the corn where I planted it with a 2600 Green Star 2 and an ATU 300. It still worked great. So real quick, I want to show you guys the setup in here. Got the brown box for steering. This here controls the sections, pressure, master on off in the 4 sections, and I also have a switch here that's the one I actually use, and that will control the egg leader for marking, painting a map and counting acres. And then I have this box here which controls the booms. And I have the pump on remote 1, remote 3 is the booms, and I just turn the flow down. When I turn the flow down on remote 3, I can still move the booms and still have enough pressure to spray with. So still am spraying 20 gallons per acre. See, we're spraying ATP Pump Plus, AMS, Liberty, Enlist, Volunteer, and Cavalry. It's not Complete, it's a different one. We use Cavalry Complete on the corn and Cavalry, I don't know if it's Ultra or what it is called, but that's what we're spraying, 20 gallons an acre. Already half done, just started. The auto steer is great. I just point it, hit the button, and it just goes right down the next row where it's supposed to. It makes life so much easier. Instead of watching a line, I used to just use this, and I'd actually have set up tracking on it, and it wouldn't steer. It will, but we didn't have the part of the equipment to make it work, and the steering wheel part. You have to watch that line, turn into it. Sometimes you'd be off the road, but most of the time it would get you right on. But now I don't even have to like look and visualize like, okay, it's telling me I want to be down here and I got to shoot for it. I just push resume and the tractor just goes right down the next row. It is super awesome. This is the first year I've used it for spraying. Did have, this is the second brown box I bought, but last fall I had a brown box and this globe. And I was spraying last fall I got a brown box, not this one, this is my second one, but I got the brown box and a globe, and I did use the auto track for chisel plowing, but I did not use it for moldboard plowing. I did use it to strike out lands, but the plow don't pull straight enough. The plow will actually kind of do this. The steering's too straight for it, and but it did come in handy for striking lands. I just go count rows and set a flag there and mark A, and then just drive down and line it up, mark A, go all the way down the field, come back, set it, drive the tractor up to where I wanted, re-snap the line to center it where I had it parked, and then have a nice straight land. Be careful here, got a pole and a rock pile, but I'm always away. There now, I don't have to do nothing, it just steers itself right down there. I just speed it up and turn it on. I do have to occasionally nudge it, and that's what I'm doing here. Sometimes it will drift a little bit, and we're only going, this is just a 40, so we got, oh, what is it, quarter of a mile minus the headlands roads, so this actually really works well. But even when I'm going half-mile passes, I might have to nudge it once or twice, but I have very little money invested into it. I got $700 in the globe and $700 in this box. I did kind of get a bad deal. The other brown box I bought for $2,000. No, was it $1,600? The other box I bought for $1,600, the brown box, and it came with an ITC globe. And the guy said it worked, and it probably did, give the guy credit last time he used it, because I think it was like 22 or 23 deer shut down the correction signal for ITC globes. So, because they use only LB1 satellites, where the 3000s use LB1s and 2s, and the government was supposed to shut down the LB1s. I don't know, this is just what I'm reading, and it's kind of above my pay grade, and I don't really understand it. But the signal the satellites use, they come out with a new one, they both are up in space, and they're going to shut down the old one, and the ITCs will only pick up the old one, so deer cut the correction signal. Anyways, the auto track one worked, so I did have to go out and buy this globe here, but now I got an ITC globe for a decoration, I guess, and I do use it for mocking up. Like, it's on the combine right now for setting that up. I won't be able to use it for steering, but it's just on there for now to get wiring situated and whatnot. And did the same thing on the gator when I set that up, so I can map with it this spring, maybe fall. I believe there's 38.6 acres out here. I got 25.9 done. When you got a 90-foot swath, it goes really fast. One thing I have noticed with the auto steer too is if you're on a slope, the tractor will stay in line, but the sprayer, there was one spot, one field where you could just see that the sprayer was at an angle enough where it was running over beans, because you can even see the tractor tire tracks are here between the rows, and the sprayer this side's closer and the other side's farther away from the tractor tire tracks, and there's nothing you can do about that. Even if I was steering it by hand, either the tractor would run it over the sprayer. It must be spammers. I keep getting phone calls from different numbers, different area codes, and they all leave messages. Hello, hello, hello. Alright, let's do this. See, if I sit there for a while, it will drift. I know when I was planting, I really didn't have problems with it. Too bad. Drifting at all. I know, I think it was off like 4 inches, just letting it sit overnight. Like, I thought that was amazing. Sometimes it does drift more. Some days are a little worse than others, but sure, would I like to have SFRTK and have it sub-inch accuracy, and you just use the same lines you plant, come back in and spray and never have to worry about it? Yeah, that'd be nice. But that costs a lot of money to get set up for it, and then I think you have to pay $1,500 a year for that subscription, maybe $1,000. I don't know for sure, but I don't really want to spend that kind of money just to have my tractor steer itself, and that's just per globe. So the beep means that the tractor has the steering engaged. See, I didn't do a TCM calibration, and I probably should have. That is where you drive the tractor somewhere flat, mark where the center of the axle, you have it pointing one direction, and you push a button and it does measurements, and then you turn around and put the exact same spot, lining the axles up with the tractor facing 180 degrees from where it was at the beginning, and you push another button, and it's to tell the globe the compensation of the for pitch and roll and yaw and all that stuff. That's all like airplane stuff that I don't really know, but when the ground has a slope to it, the dish can tell where when the ground has a slope to it, like you're on a slight incline or down going on a slight edge of a hill, the antenna up there can tell it's got measuramental things that science does, and it will compensate because it knows the tractor's leaning because it's up in the air, and if it's on the side of a hill, the antenna will move, and the tractor has to know, like, hey, this thing's leaning, because if it leans, it's going to move the tractor over with the lean. And I did not do that calibration, so it has whatever it had in there for calibration, and I believe you're supposed to continually, you know, you're supposed to do that every time you unhook and hook them up, is the way I understand it. I don't know, but next year. To be fair, it was the same antenna and brown box when I did it this spring for planting, so in theory it should all be good. But from the podcast I listen to, I don't think I'm the only one who skips out on doing it. Sounds like a lot of people, when they have issues, that's the first thing they're told to try. Don't sound like I'm the only one who doesn't do it religiously like you're supposed to. Moved her a little too far there. I think it's set up so if I nudge it over, it moves 2 inches. I'm not sure. I know in the Green Star 2 I can change how much a nudge is, and I don't know if I can do that in here or not. I can't remember. They're totally different. Controls, setups, menus are completely different. It's a whole different ball game. Oh, I got plenty left here. I mixed an extra 100 gallons because there will be point rows, which we will be doing shortly, and that always wastes some. I got 200 gallons, and I got about 6 acres left at 20 gallons per acre. 200 should be 10, so I have about 4 acres left. And I did have extra in there, so I should be pretty good. I do have an old hog pasture we plant beans in every year to keep the weeds off, and that'll take care of the rest of it. Trying to decide that I don't have section control. I have to look up here, and the edge of that broom, the edge of the boom there is going to be spraying what I already did when I circled the field. The question is, if I shut it off, will I leave a gap? Will it shut off too much? I don't know, it's hard to say. If I double spray it too, beans don't like that. It's close either way. I think I should have been having it on. I can see where it's double planted. And I also go faster when I shut a section off, because when I shut one section off, or as I shut any of them off, the pressure keeps building because there's less nozzle spraying. And instead of messing with the pressure, I just bump it up a gear. So now I'm going 7 instead of 6 miles an hour. I got 48 psi. I can actually physically see it coming out of the boom faster, or harder, more product coming out, and so I just go faster so I don't over apply. Because when I start messing with that pressure, it seems like once I get it there it's fine, but it's so jumpy. Like that, we're done spraying post beans. Everything's been sprayed once. Corn's too tall to get back in to spray with, but I don't know about the beans here. We'll see what they look like. Probably clean up the sprayer. Like, I'm definitely gonna rinse it out and maybe even power wash it, but probably power wash it, but not winterize it yet. I'm gonna turn remote 3. I'm gonna turn the flow all the way up. You get the number there. We're going to turn her up to 10. That's as high as she goes. Give her a little throttle. Turn the remote 1 off. I get all the hydraulic pressure to the booms. Let's see. It's like I always never can remember what to do on these. Like, never gets to be muscle memory. And they just fold in.